Ooh, I've got a question.
Hey. How's it going, Andrew?
Good.
Once again, the microphones are on.
Okay. Are you live and streaming? Hi,
Yeah.
welcome to the second annual.
Listen.
No one will be streaming.
You're responsible for your
No one will
behavior.
be logging on.
You're an adult, I guess.
No one will be logging on yet, will they? Starting soon. You see, you got starting soon thingy up there. When you get
Just in
there.
case you do turn it off, right?
It's off.
You just found a way to do it for you. Like all these personal stuff, assets,
The starting soon thingy up there. When you get
just
there.
in case.
When was it started?
I said too much.
Okay. Back in there, to my boss.
Is it on? Okay. Let me squeeze something that's a battery. Oh, I guess it's maybe 60 or 9 somewhere in the name. See what you can get. But I guess, oh, you just look it up. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2.
How's that like eating?
Perfect. we're good, like it's pretty visible. Now they
Is that
can,
legible?
you just can leave it like one page and see what's in here, like it's pretty visible definitely. Sure, that was good. There's a certain delay going when,
Okay.
right? This is the live one.
Yeah.
Like if you have like 30
I would
seconds.
do it like,
Okay, you just twist this. Sounds so easy.
yeah. I would say that we want it like here.
Lower.
No, like that's fine. But can you do it a little more?
Sure.
That's perfect. No.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Is this I don't know, really. So, like this?
No.
I mean, like that.
Yeah. Sure, yeah.
Okay, so now I'll just secure that one. So,
Because then, like that is perfect. Because then it's right to the edge of the PowerPoint. And then this person is here.
yeah. Oh, I
And
see
then,
what you mean.
yeah, so then when you...
Just make that one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I stuck with the keyboard. Oh, sorry. This is cool. Actually, stay on.
Yeah.
So,
Because you want to have it, because you're going to have 8 people, right?
yeah.
So there's going to be a row of heads.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, I can just
So when it's starting, like the first little bit of it, have it there.
like
Perfect.
Like here.
Just for the first, you know, for the, as people are sitting down, when you're starting it so that people can see all 8 people.
Sure.
And then, as soon as it goes into the presentation, zoom it to like we said about like the podium and the slide. And then when it goes into question and answer,
Okay.
right at the end, you just need to have it back to here is fine.
Like
you
you want
wanna-
to see the people?
Yeah, sure. You can see that you can turn it around for the microphone
Yeah.
for the question, and then put it back to these guys. Yeah, because there's not going to be anything on the screen.
Sure.
It'll just be like question and answer, so you don't need to worry about the screen anymore. It'll just be them speaking.
Sure. We'll make that way. Sure.
I think this is
Watch
great.
yourself.
Sorry, I should
Oh
push
my
you up
God,
because
you're
I
terrible. Like,
didn't do
listen,
it
it's,
all day.
I know, but it's, take care. I don't know what's on the, okay.
So that's what it looks like on the.
That's on the web. I mean, you'll see it changing. You want to start it?
Oh, okay. I see. Just because it's cut off here, so that is what you're seeing.
Yeah, so,
Do you, are there questions that come through online?
well, I don't deal with that. Some guys, I mean, it was just one, like,
We did that once, right?
I know, but I'm not a fan.
I know, I'll have to,
If you want to take over with that,
that'll be too much fun. We'll just do people that are here, right?
so they'll question Mr. Murphy, I guess, and
Yeah. So don't worry about the questions here. So yeah, this will do the start, and then when it goes into the slides that I have, then you go, then you're zooming in.
yeah, okay, just make this, then,
Oh, that's perfect, yeah. And then that's perfect.
yeah.
And then that's there for the whole presentation.
So it takes like, usually like
Yeah,
20
because it's like,
seconds.
because of the it's the old tripod thing.
No, it's the processing.
Going over the sheet.
Okay, sure, it's not professional. It's not like with
But it's, and then you lock it, and then, because you're moving it like twice effectively, right? You have
Yeah.
it started,
Exactly.
and then you don't touch it, and then they start the presentation, you go to here, but you don't touch it,
Yeah.
and then question and answer, you can swing it to the person that's talking, and then back to them, or you don't have to do it.
Yeah. Would you let Mr. Murphy, you wanted me to tell him if I'm live or something, I just tell him that we're live. He can shake that.
I will let him know.
Yeah. I hope it's just fine. I let the music on and
Perfect.
yeah, that way
Very easy. I'm
it
gonna,
looks good to me in here. Like it's all.
yeah, that looks good to me too. I'm gonna, just so you know, once I get here, I will fix the clicker again. It works, just in case this battery dies.
I think.
See what I can do?
I wrote this question. Just in case. That's already in there, because I know it works. I just tested it, so we're good. Okay? I have it powered up. I have it on the battery.
Did you guys like the spin mountain?
No, I said myself, yeah.
It's on. Yeah. Well, I'll come with you and see.
You got this one?
I swapped the camera.
Okay.
This is faster in zooming and
This is more clearer than last time, yeah?
well, because
Isn't it better? It's fantastic because Eugene can zoom out so that people can read the slide deck.
That's much
well, you
better.
have optical zoom, right? Like it's not like digital, it's optical zoom.
So are you going to montage it?
Well,
It's
whatever.
only gonna move it a couple times, so I'll have it like looking at the board when we're opening, and then as soon as it starts to talk, it's gonna zoom up. So it's just the stand and the screen, like the
Should I
person-
move? Should I move the thing?
No, no, it's perfect.
Yeah?
Perfect.
Okay. So we're getting moved.
They just want me watching.
Not everybody can do this, you know that.
That's okay, don't worry.
You just don't want some stuff.
Oh, yeah. That's not bad comment.
No, I'm off with the comments.
Let's go.
I can switch off that feature, but I'll leave it on.
No, sorry, just because it's live streaming right now, and nobody knows it's live streaming, it's
At the bottom.
yeah.
Okay.
Let's go test it downstairs quickly and then come up here and turn it off until we're ready to go.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Did you guys want me to do it?
Well, I'm after maybe. I brought an apple.
Terry, I'm not gonna head home super early right after this.
Testing 1, 2, testing 1, 2. Check test 1, 2, testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Check testing, testing. Check test 1, 2, 3, 4.
2, 3, 4, check, testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4, check, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing, check, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, testing.
Did you check?
No, Eugene, it's a little bit too loud.
Please check.
No,
Here.
no, but I got to sit downstairs, so I need you to confirm somehow. So I'll keep talking and
I go to that link.
yeah, you just go.
Just give me a couple minutes. Do you have the phone?
I do have it.
Which
Yeah,
one?
This one, mine.
Yeah, I have 2 of yours.
No, the one that you called me, 647.
Testing, 1, 2, check, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4, check, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4, check, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4, check, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, testing. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, testing. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4, check, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4, testing, check, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4, check, testing. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4, check, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4, check, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing, check, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4, check. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4, check, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4, check, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Eugene, can you come to 5 at least?
No, I'm just doing the live stream. Okay.
I'm kidding.
I gotta keep talking because you gotta keep downstairs.
I
Sorry.
should check downstairs.
So I gotta, well, you gotta check on the.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2.
Check, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6.
Check, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So I
No cookies, zero tolerance.
Check.
No cookies.
I'm streaming, sorry.
Nothing. Coffee, tea, water, zero tolerance.
Check, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, testing.
Some jam, some honey. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4.
Check, please.
Check, please, check.
Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Check. Check.
Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Check, check again.
Check.
Check.
So, you gotta have.
Hi, how are you? Good.
Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4.
You're on time.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You are the first auditor who has ever been on
I
time.
know.
Usually they run in 5 minutes to 7.
Alright, yeah, that is it.
I told you.
Oh, we like that.
It's late, it's late.
You know, it was 6, you're right.
Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, testing. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, testing, 1, 2, 3. Check, testing, 1, 2, 3. Check.
Eugene, first of all, your phone is not working. Second, it says this video does not exist.
Okay, when you get, you can try to I'll go just on
Well, put music if you like.
Well, the music is on. Let it just run. Let me just put it.
Go to my office, it's not,
Yeah.
it says this video removed.
It's, yeah, well, yeah.
Check, check. 1, 2, 3, check. Hey, 1, 2, 3, check. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3, check.
Somewhere in the distant night, I hear Christmas bells, the gentle snow keeps falling down on people who are homeward bound. That's the way it's always been. So never is Christmas Eve.
Check, 1, 2, 3, check, check, check. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3, check.
Holidays.
1, 2, 3, check. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, check. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Nights ago, mistletoe, don't mean a thing.
1, 2, 3, check.
As I walk this lonely street, the sound of snow beating my feet. I think about our history, holidays and Christmas trees used to be so much to me.
Derek?
Yeah.
Yes. We went to this.
I know, but it's not the same thing that those members are going to go to because they will say it's not working.
Check, testing, 1, 2, check, testing.
Okay, I'm going to
Yeah,
go.
go downstairs, check it.
Make sure your phone is on.
It's on.
I told you twice.
330. 5 again.
Hold on, let me see.
Okay,
I have two, Eugene. One is 1267 and 1267. And the other one is 3305. That's the 60. Okay, you have another one.
No, this one.
Okay, what happened to the other one?
Okay,
What happened to this one? Can I cancel that one?
yeah, I use that one.
Cancel?
Yeah, this is what is the one that.
Okay, can I download it? I have to. Okay, I have to. You give me one. This one, 267. It's not this.
Testing 1, 2, check, testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, check, testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, check, testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, check, testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, check, testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing.
Let's take it.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, check, testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, check, testing. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, check, testing. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, check, testing. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, check, testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, check, testing. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, check, testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, check, testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, testing. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, testing. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Not one chair?
This is good. That's excellent. Hello.
So how many you got?
Come on, then take it.
How many people? Nope.
Six so far.
Yeah, they'll choose. It's just my hobby. What's the website to get on? It's the Thornhill Club. Also go through the Thornhill Club, but it says live stream. There are two channels. The official one, the Thornhill Club. Okay. Because I was looking on the emails to see if there was a link there, but there's no link. So if I go back to the website and then go through the website, log in as a member through the website. You don't need to log in. It's a it's free. You just Google Meet the Thornhill Club live stream, and you will see live, like a little square like a red one. It's okay. We'll do that.
Thank you.
evening, everybody. I would like to call the meeting to order, if we could. My name is Adrian Hartog. I'm the president of the board of directors at the Thornhill Club and the chairman for tonight's meeting. First of all, I would like to thank all of you who are here in person or watching via our webcast for attending. It is your passion for our club that continually makes it more and more enjoyable place to be. I'd like to introduce some of the other people sitting at the table here. On my immediate right is Vince Gascon, our finance director and treasurer, and Joe Murphy, our general manager, and Neil Rogers, our vice president and facilities director. And in the first row, okay, so we've got on the far left here, Greg Finkel, our golf director. Beside him is Brenda Barry, our director. Then we've got Paul Schultz, our greens director. Beside him is Michelle Randall, our membership director and social and F&B director. And on the far right is Bruce Fleming, our activities director. Additionally, I would like to introduce Amrish Khanna from our auditing firm, Grant Thornton, and Laura Horowitz, who will be, there we are, Laura, okay, who will be taking minutes of tonight's meeting. Neil Rogers will act as secretary of the meeting in the absence of Tim Bates. With your consent, I would like to appoint Amrish Khanna from Grant Thornton to act as scrutineer for the meeting. If there are no objections, I would like to declare him duly appointed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this time, I would like to advise the secretary that there is a quorum of members present.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Secretary, please report on the notice of meeting.
Mr. Chairman, notice of this meeting has been duly given to all members entitled to receive notice, and the scrutineer has advised that a quorum of members is present. At this time, there are 71 members in attendance with voting rights, 1 member and guest in attendance with no voting rights, and 17 proxies have been received. I declare the meeting to be duly constituted for the transaction of business as set out in the notice of meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. May I please have a motion on the floor for approval of the minutes of the December 7, 2015 annual meeting and the dispensation of their reading?
Mr. Chairman, I move that the minutes of the last annual general meeting held on December 7, 2015 be approved and the reading be dispensed with.
Thank you, Kevin. Will someone please second the motion?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you very much, John. May I have a show of hands? All those in favor? Thank you. Any opposed? That's carried. Thank you very much. I want to take a brief moment now, if I could ask you to stand for a moment of silence to honor the memory of those members who have passed away during the past year. Mrs. Diane Avery, Mr. Bob Bird, Mr. David Britnell, Mr. Bruce Carruthers, Mr. Don Catalano, Mr. John Corcoran, Mr. Dave McGibbon, Mrs. Nahama Miller, Miss Fran Reeve, and Mrs. Diane Smith. Thank you. It is now time for the appointment of the auditors. May I please have a motion to appoint Grant Thornton as auditors for the fiscal year 2017 and to authorize the directors to fix their remuneration?
Mr. Chairman, I move the appointment of Grant Thornton, auditors of the Thornhill Club for the fiscal year 2016 to 2017.
Thank you very much, Wendy. Will someone please second the motion?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion to appoint Grant Thornton as auditors.
Thank you very much, Ralph. May I have a show of hands? All those in favor? Thank you. Any opposed? Thank you. That motion is carried. In accordance with the bylaw of the club, the following directors will retire this year: Neil Rogers, Tim Bates, and myself. On behalf of the club, I would like to thank Neil and Tim for their dedicated service to the club. Tim is not present tonight, and Neil is standing for the board again. I know Tim isn't here tonight, and I think you're out there somewhere on our webcast, and so watching from Hilton Head, I believe, so much nicer location. You heard the boos, Tim. Tim, I would like to take this opportunity to publicly thank you for your time, effort, and contribution to our board and to making our club a better place while serving as a director. You served as chair of our activities committee, secretary of the board, and chair of our member conduct committee. You're always there at board meetings to provide perspective and sage counsel. Your counsel was greatly appreciated. Tim, you also took on some of the thankless, less glorious tasks of dealing with member conduct matters in a very discreet and fair way and chasing down some of our bad debts. Again, Tim, thank you for your help and wise counsel and contribution. We have a gift for you which we'll present to you on your return.
Thank you. Fellow members, ladies and gentlemen, I have both the duty and the privilege to thank Adrian Hartog for his service and contribution to the Thornhill Club. Adrian has served on the board since 2011 and president since 2014. Adrian has effectively steered the efforts of the club to fulfill our mission statement as a Four Seasons family-focused club. With Mike Chansey's retirement last year, it was Adrian, in large part, who pursued or lured Joe Murphy from St. George's. The foresight to attract great talent, be an effective leader and listener, offering counsel to his fellow board members and staff, have set a strong foundation for Thornhill's future, which I believe is bright. Adrian, has been a real pleasure to have sat beside you in countless meetings, under countless hours, and I'm all that much better to call you a colleague, but more importantly a friend. And on behalf of the board of directors and the club, Adrian, thank you for your dedication and your service to the Thornhill Club.
Thank you, Neil. While I have the microphone for a few minutes, before we carry on with the more formal aspects of tonight's meeting, I'd like to take this opportunity to say a few words. As my term comes to an end, and I can reflect back to when I first met with Anne Lalonde for a coffee and was subsequently enticed to be appointed to the board. Until then, I had enjoyed a fairly blissful and relatively anonymous existence here. I would escape the pressures and worries of everyday life and enjoy a round of golf with my sons or my friends and maybe stay for a refreshment or two or more, or spend a beautiful summer evening on our patio. Being appointed as a director and serving as president has changed all that. It has certainly broadened and deepened my connection to our club, and given me the opportunity to meet and become friends with many more of our members. We here at Thornhill Club are blessed with a very fine group of people who are our fellow members. In particular, I had the chance to work with a very committed, intelligent group of of directors and committee members. I'm most thankful for your support and friendship. As well, I want to thank our management and our staff who are equally committed and talented. Thank you. Thank you for making this a better club. One last word of thanks to my wife, Debbie. As one of our members put it, I will still have to refer to Debbie as the First Lady. Debbie, thank you for putting up with numerous scheduled and unscheduled meetings, which always went longer than expected. Thank you. We will now proceed with the election of directors. I call on Michelle Randall of the nominating committee to present your report.
Mr. Chairman, as stated in the notice of meeting, there are 3 vacant director positions to be filled, and we are nominating 3 directors to fill these positions. On behalf of the nominating committee, we nominate Kevin Greer, Craig Straight-Gardner, and Neil Rogers to serve on the board for the next 3 years.
Thank you, Michelle. Mr. Secretary, please advise if any nominations have been received in addition to those of the nominating committee. Thank you. That was no. Sorry. Thank you. As there are no further nominations, may I have a motion to confirm the election of Kevin Greer, Craig Straight-Gardner, and Neil Rogers for a term, 3-year term to the Board of Directors?
Mr. Chairman, I move to confirm the election of Kevin Greer, Neil Rogers, and Craig Straight-Gardner to the 2016-17 Board of Directors.
Thank you very much, Barry. Will someone second the motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion to elect directors to the board.
Thank you, Linda. May I have a show of hands? All those in favor? Thank you. Those opposed? None. Thank you. That's carried. I declare that Kevin Greer, Craig Straight-Gardner, and Neil Rogers have been elected as directors. I would ask that Kevin, Craig, and Neil stand up and be recognized. Thank you. Thank you, guys. We have one 50-year member being honored tonight who joined Thornhill in 1966. I would ask that Mr. John Little please come forward and receive your plaque and pin. Okay, so Craig is, John's not here, but we'll catch up to him and present him with that shortly. There are a couple of other special presentations to make. I want to recognize one of our former board members. I'd like to give some special recognition to Judith Carinas for her outstanding golf achievements this season. Judith began the season by winning the Ontario Senior Championship in June. In July, she placed 5th in the Ontario Women's Championship and kept the momentum going. And on August 18th, Judith successfully defended her North-South Senior Amateur title at the Pinehurst Resort to earn her second Putter Boy trophy. A couple of weeks later, Judith traveled to Alberta, and there she won the Canadian Women's Senior Mid-Am and Mid-Master titles. Simply amazing. On the heels of that Triple Crown performance, Judith set off to the Wellesley Golf Club in Massachusetts in September to compete in the U.S. Senior Women's Amateur. Judith won medalist honors there and earned herself the #1 seed entering the match play competition. After many remarkable rounds of match play, Judith fell shy of making it to the semifinals and was defeated in a marathon 21-hole match in the quarterfinals. Can we give Judith a round of applause? One other presentation to a person who you now know, Craig Straight-Gardner. Craig, in appreciation of your convening and organizing the Ontario Men's Amateur Championship, we have a small token of appreciation for you. Thank you. So Craig, on behalf of the Thornhill Club, much appreciation for your outstanding contribution to the 2016 Ontario Men's Amateur Golf Championship. I know it's a ton of work, so thank you very much.
Okay, but I'll put it back for now.
The auditor's report, along with the form of proxy and the financial statements, were distributed by email and regular mail on Friday, November the 18th, 2016, to all holders of membership on record on that date. The auditor's report is a standard report that is based on generally accepted auditing standards. Unless there is an objection, I will forego the reading of the report. I would ask Vince Cascone, our treasurer and chair of our finance committee, to provide some brief commentary on our financial results. Oh, you're going to go down there in a second. Oh, you want to use this? Oh, I thought you were working on it.
I was going to, but I don't have enough pens.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much, Adrian. So just a quick introduction. As Adrian said a couple of times, my name is Vince Cascone. I've been a member here at the club for about 11, 12 years. And for the last year, I've been chair of the finance committee, having a ton of fun with the finance committee. So before I get into the actual highlights of the financial results, what I'd like to do is just do some introductions of our finance committee, and thank them for all their hard work. So Terry Bolger, if you wouldn't mind standing. Is Sue Henderson here? Sue's not here. Kevin, where? I saw Barry Rutherford. I don't know what that's about, but maybe we'll find out later. David Barrett, is he here? David's not here. And am I missing anyone? I don't think so. Let's give him a round of applause and thank you for without their guidance and support on the finance committee, and let's suffice it to say, we'd have a lot tougher time here at the club. So thank you very much. Before I actually get into the highlights, what I'd like to do is kind of just set some objectives. So I am not going to go into a line-by-line review of the financial results. But what I'd like to do is really give you an overview of the results and talk about some of the key drivers that are really driving some of those results. Okay? Oh, there we go, and it works. As was mentioned, I think earlier, and I think back in October when Joe did his town hall meeting, he talked about transitional year. And we talked about transitioning to a family club. And as we all know, I think we've all been customers of organizations that have been in transition. It's a long, it's a lengthy process. And we all recognize that our market is shifting, it's changing, so we need to shift with it to make sure that we continue to provide value services to our members, and we continue to move forward as a club. So this year has really been certainly about transition, and as a result, you can see our operating loss of $566,000. I'll get into some of the key drivers of that in just a minute. But as we talk about transition, I also want to talk about the 3-year business model, which is the third or fourth bullet point there. Really, we're in a process of transition, but we also need, from a finance perspective, to support that transition and make sure that we put a plan in place that supports that transition going forward. So I'll talk a little bit about the 3-year plan, and I know Joe touched on it back in October as well. And it talks about how we're going to move from where we are to where we need to be and really focusing on financial stability going forward during that transition. In 2017, what we're really going to focus on is strong cost management with really proactive marketing. So what does that mean? So for the 2017 budget, we really looked long and hard and really tried to ensure that we really drove unnecessary costs out of our operation as much as we possibly could. And as well, we're trying to put some mechanisms in place to make sure that continues to happen along the way. And from a marketing perspective, I think we all heard about Brandfire, and we brought Brandfire on board to really look at our marketing and make sure that we're relevant to our members and future members going forward. The one thing that I do need to point out, and it was pointed out by the auditors this year, we did have a concern about a bank service ratio, debt service ratio. We did not meet our bank service ratio covenant this year. And it was by about $78,000 or $80,000 this year. So what does that really mean? So it means that if you look at the ratio itself, on the top, the numerator of the ratio is really our operating income, and for the most part, and our denominator is effectively our payments, our interest payments, our principal payments on our loans. So we fell short, and it's really primarily as a result of our operating performance itself. Now we've had some discussions with the bank, and the bank itself is not concerned about our debt service ratio at this point. They've told us that anecdotally. We are talking to them about getting a waiver, an official waiver, which basically states that they will not take any action on our debt service ratio and us not meeting our covenant going forward. So let me get into some of the contributing factors around our operating loss. So as mentioned, it was $566,000. But on the bright side, our operating loss in the previous year was $638,000. So it was $72,000 better. A little glimmer of hope. The primary cause for our operating loss was really attrition. We are operating at a 9% attrition rate. Our benchmarks and our industry standards say we should get 5%. We plan for 5%. However, we're almost double that. So that's a primary cause. So, and Joe will repeatedly tell us we're a dues business. So meaning we need members to drive dues, to drive revenue. So that being said, our revenue was down as a result. On the cost side, in 2015, we had, or 2016 rather, we had a fairly aggressive budget. And we realized probably into the second quarter, partway into the second quarter of this year, that we wouldn't be able to make the cost targets for that budget. So what that was as a result of, we completed our large portion of our renovations, we have our pool to go. So we have a larger operation, larger expenses, larger operating costs. We also had a couple of extraordinary costs, which we're calling extraordinary, hydro costs. So given our larger facility, we had increased hydro costs as well as hydro rates themselves went up. So that was an extraordinary cost that we didn't necessarily anticipate. As well, and I think you're all aware that we had a number of staff members leave and so on, so we had some restructuring costs, associated restructuring costs with that. What I'd like to do is just quickly talk about and kind of refresh everybody on the three-year plan. So again, Joe showed this at the October Town Hall, and effectively what we're saying is we don't believe that we can come up with a break-even budget by next year. We feel that it'll take us a couple of years. Again, viewing it as a transition as opposed to looking at it as we're just going to turn the corner immediately. We feel that it'll take a bit of time. So in 2017, we're looking at $195,000 operating loss. In 2018, we're looking at a break-even and then $100,000 surplus in 2019 for our plan. And Joe will speak to some of the member numbers in his operational report. What I'd like to do now is just quickly talk about cash flow. As they say, cash is king. So cash is really important. And the reason it's important is because really it helps us pay our bills. We need cash coming in so we can pay our immediate needs, our accounts payable, and our immediate payments. But we did generate $293,000 in cash this year, which is good. However, we had a net usage of cash, so we used more cash than the $293,000. In fact, we used more to the extent of $279,000. So, and that was primarily as a result of we had more payables. We paid more payables this year. We paid more invoices this year. In the previous year, I think we had held off more on payments, as well as part of the renovation. There were a number of drawdowns which we hadn't taken at the time. So what we find this year is the fact that we've actually had less payables. We paid more of them. As well as we had repayments of capital lease obligations. So what's a capital lease obligation? So essentially it's the truck we used to plow snow with, it's grass cutting equipment, it's golf carts. As well, when we look at the bottom line, so we've been talking about operating results to this point, but when we look at the bottom line and we take into account non-cash items. So what are those non-cash items? We have retiring assets and we have depreciation. And I love this term. It's a result of retirement of stranded assets. It kind of feels like we're putting the assets on a deserted island somewhere. But in actual fact, they're really assets as a result of our renovation. We have assets that were on the books that we no longer use or can use. So we had to retire those assets, and that's what that represents. As well, we have a new facility. It's a bigger facility, and depreciation is needed to be taken into account as a result of the additional equipment and plant. Just looking at 2017 and beyond. So I think I talked about this a little bit. Our primary focus, membership and membership targets. And again, I think Joe will talk a little bit more about that in his operational review. Cost efficiencies in all departments. For the following year, we are looking at putting in place some tools where we can actually monitor how we're doing on a cost-effective basis more frequently. Putting into effect frequent checkpoints around that. As well, and I'll talk about that this is my next slide, is around risk mitigation. It helps us understand what are our risks going forward and what are those mitigations. So it helps us be a little more proactive about what's coming down the pipe and to put mitigations in place as we see those risks turning into real issues that we need to deal with. The other is around capital programming. So we're looking at only putting capital where we absolutely have to, as opposed to going through an entire roster of capital programs. We're going to be fairly frugal around the capital that we do spend in the coming year. Joe has initiated with an external organization an audit of our clubhouse facilities. And what that will do for us, it'll help us be a little more proactive around how and when and where we spend that capital. So it'll help us understand where we have some major gaps, what we need to do to ameliorate those gaps, and it'll help us understand how we can prioritize some of that spend going forward. As well, from a finance committee perspective, we're going to be closely looking forward to recommendations of the long-range planning special purpose committee and aligning certainly the financials with those recommendations. And again, I talked about the risk mitigations, which I'll talk about in a second. It'll help us be more forward-looking. Just to quickly get into the risks, impacts, and mitigations. So, I know we talked about all the great things we're going to do next year, and probably the question in everybody's mind is, well, what if that doesn't happen? What are you going to do? This helps us understand, here's what we're going to do when we potentially run into an issue. So one of the first key risks, we're looking at major risks here, not looking at all risks, it's just major risks. So one of the first key risks is what if we don't achieve our membership and revenue targets? And that's a possibility. And what's the impact of the club? Well, it's pretty high. I mean, that's going to impact our operating results in coming years. So what can we do about it? Well, probably review our membership offerings. Are we in line with what the market is demanding? We've probably enhanced our marketing offerings and start looking at potentially different types of marketing events and getting the word out about Thornhill a bit better. We're looking for opportunities to enhance revenue through either catering or looking at external tournaments into the club. Another key risk that we thought we should consider is not being able to achieve our cost targets. Again, high impact to the club will impact our operating results. And what we'll effectively need to do is we need to take a close, hard look at our operations for further overall reductions. One thing that we really tried to do is not that we didn't look at further reductions this year, but what we really tried to do is certainly not impact the member experience or member services in any way. So we reduce cost without impacting member services and member experience. But we'll have to take, if we don't hit our cost targets, we'll have to take a much harder look at certainly the cost lines. And the last key risk is around unable to contain capital spending as a result of anticipated risk. What if our electrical blows up in the clubhouse? What do we do? If we have a sewer break, what do we do? We need to understand what the impact is to the club if we have those types of events. Certainly the audit that Joe's working on will help us understand what the potential eventuality of that may be, and we can look at it from that perspective. But if it does happen, and certainly things might happen, we may not be able to contain capital spending going forward. So again, mitigation would be review the operations, further our overall reductions as best we can, and if we at all can, prioritize any of the required repairs. At this point, I'd like to hand over to Joe to go through the operation.
Procedural matter. Please have a motion to approve the financial statements for the year ended September 30, 2016.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the 2016 financial statements as presented.
Thank you very much, Shirley. Will please second.
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion to approve the 2016 audited financial statements.
Thank you very much, Tim. Measure show of hands, all those in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. That motion is carried. My report is concluded with the annual report, and I have nothing further to add. I would ask Murphy to provide his report on the club's operations now, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good to see you again. Here we are 6 weeks later. We're going to talk about a lot of the same things we talked about 6 weeks ago. So let's get it away. You've heard some bad news, and we told you some bad news. So this shouldn't come as any surprise. So, the key is, what have we done recently? What do we do about concern? I mean, thinking, well, all right, so what's happened? What are we going to do moving forward? How are we going to put us back on the ground? So, we've done a few things. In the last, say, year, the board, and all you back a couple years, this membership voted to move forward with additional amenities, which saw the wisdom in going beyond all. And that's the right decision. You see it in the industry. I've told you before that I've studied it for 18 months ago where golf's going. Golf is stress. Clubs of the future will have to look outside of golf and be able to say, okay, what other value-added amenities, what other things can we do to make sure that we stay at the forefront of golf? And we know golf drives the engine. That's no disrespect to anybody here who isn't a golfer. It was all rather, it's going to drive the engine here. All these amenities are ancillary to golf, but they're also there to join the family, and in particular for your to sell individuals. You know, this prompted a rebranding exercise. We changed the club's name to the Thornhill Club, where golf is just the beginning. We went through, as simple as that might sound, we went through, you know, literally hours of that. And this is kind of interesting. When I first heard it, I'm thinking, a golf club without the word golf in it. I must say I struggled with it, but having said that, I think it really is a nice way. It really it modernizes, or signifies the modernization of what we are and what we're trying to be in our competitive marketplace. The major equity has always been that Sunflake logo. That did not change. That's been around. I still haven't got a number of years it's been around, but it's been around a very long time. The new website that we've just introduced in the last couple of months, again, it shows modernization for those of you who've been on the visitor side of the website. Yes, I know we'll get to the member side soon. It's a little draft, but the visitor site is important. It allows you, it's the face, it's like another room. It really is like a room in your club. It's a virtual room. 120 members in all categories. We should be celebrating that. It's 120 new bodies in this club. I think there was about 100, I'll see this later, about 102 golfers. We've run through some numbers in the annual report, exactly how many are long course and valley course. But again, that's something, that again triggers, or certainly indicates that there's an appeal out there for this club. 120 people just don't join your club just for the heck of it. This is because it's got a lot to offer. The men's amateur, 156 players teed off here over 4 days, only 3 broke par. Judith, isn't that fabulous? That means 153 didn't. Now I know you would have, Judith. But again, it speaks volumes of what we are, how our course does stand the test of time. Remember dining, up 12% overall. 12%. Our prices did not go up 12%. I know some of you may think they did, but they didn't. They have gone up on average about 4%. So it's an 8% increase in volume. 40% on the patio over last year. And yes, that's over 4,000 pizzas. Not all pizzas, but that's how many we served over 4. We served 2,500 last year, by the way. So our 1,500 pizzas. So we know where we are. We're trying to figure out how we get an indoor pizza. That's what we're trying to figure out. And of course, the membership satisfaction survey, and I can't say enough about that. Please take the time. I know it's onerous. I've heard from people who've written to me saying, "Oh my goodness, I have to take time off work to complete that." It's about 35 minutes in length, but it's important information for us to do our planning and to measure how we're doing here. So again, we talk about membership changes. You've seen this slide a few weeks back. We're down 81 net members than we were in 2014. I should say net dues paying members, and that's important to know that. But again, that represents about $450,000 in dues from where we were even just 2 years ago. That just supports what Vince was saying earlier. That's a big chunk out of the operating revenue, particularly when you're a not-for-profit organization. Vince already talked about attrition levels. It's up to 9%, hopefully going down. In fact, our first go through, Laura helped me here, was we had a very few resign when the first wave of dues went through. I think we had 6 golfers resign. 6 golfers resign of the long course, and that's it. So that's down considerably from where it has been in the past, correct? So that's a good sign. So the next chart really indicates why. This is a very interesting chart. So take note here. Actually, I have to credit to Bruce Fleming, who is actually going to stay quiet this evening, and he is. Bruce is really done a lot of work on. He really enjoys the analytical side of it. And he's come up with the whole deck. And I'm going to use one of the slides because I think it really illustrates where the club is at in its time in history right now. So these are ages, and this is from 2009 to 2016, so a 7-year gap. Look at there. So you see there's been an increase in the 19 to 35. Now here's where we run into some interesting data here. From 36 to 55, we're down over 100 members. 100 members in that demographic. So, and that's a key demographic for us, as you can appreciate. You want to get members in that. So that only supports what we're going to talk about in terms of what the club has done and gone outside and built these other amenities, because that is exactly the demographic that we need to sustain this club. Now you see it's gone up a little bit to 56 to 65. Well, that's because some moved through, right, from the 46 into the next, but not correspondingly. It's only gone up by 5, and we've lost over 100. So there's a lot of people that have left in that period for a variety of reasons. But it's interesting. But we do know that once you get 65, you pretty well stay here till you leave the club in a pine box, as they say. which is a good thing, I think. I mean, stay here, not in a pine box. So, the resolving the membership challenge, again, meeting members' expectations. We talk a lot about new members, and you know, yes we do. Yeah, we definitely need new members. But your satisfaction levels, you know, meeting your expectations is equally, if not more important than getting our new members. And that's why we've done this. This is why we're encouraging you to complete the survey. It really helps us plan and put our money where we need to put our money, as Vince alluded to. You know, we want to make sure we're hitting the areas that are most important to you. That's why you'll see on the column there's a rating and then there's an importance rating. The gap in those two areas is very critical to us in how we measure your satisfaction. So please take the time to do that. Again, we talked about the 36 to 55 age group. That's a very key demographic for us. You're building out the amenities, and we've heard it all again from Brandfire. It is more attractive to the families. All the data supports it, and we've done it. And we're going to continue. We're going to finish up the pool. There is no discussion on the pool tonight, I don't believe, unless you have some questions. And Mr. Fleming to my right here would be happy to answer those ones. But it's a very, very competitive marketplace, and it really is a smaller piece of the pie. We have some good news in the last last 2 weeks, actually. I should share that with you right now. 25 new members have joined here in the last 6 months. Full golf. So these are people from other clubs. Think what's happening here. They're coming from other clubs because we offer better value. No question. And I know what's happening in the industry. I spend a lot of my time analyzing what other clubs are doing, what the industry is doing, where it's going. And this is a good thing, and people are seeing it as a good thing. And this just will create a lot of momentum. What's happened here in 16, so people have been asking about numbers. That 120 is broken down into 102 golfs, full-in trials, and 18 of the clubhouse active. Just like that would be mostly spouses of golfers. Year-over-year participation in curling, it's up from 343 to 357. We're up slightly in tennis, and clubhouse active has gone from 92 to 109 in 1 year. And that's mostly fitness, clubhouse active, that's everything but golf. Now here's an interesting stat. Fitness available to all golfers is to clubhouse active members. There are 220 members participating in fitness, of which 177 are golfing members. So it's showing you that more and more of the golfers are being enticed to use the fitness area in group X classes. So what does the road ahead look like? Vince talked to you a little bit from a financial perspective. We need a net growth of 75 new members over this 3-year plan. We talked about a 3-year plan. And we need 85, and these are net numbers. These are 85. So this growth, this is a net of attrition. So in order to achieve this growth, we need about 190 new golf members in 3 years. It's nice to know we started off with 25, but it's a long way to go yet. And that's assuming those attrition rates stay where we have anticipated them. And about 100 new clubhouse active members to get 85. And again, that's a membership with non-golf. What are our plans? What are we going to do? How are we going to get there? Well, retail programs, incentives to get members to refer new prospects. And we'll continue. You'll be hearing that ad nauseum about how we need your help. We need the help of new members. Because I don't have exact statistics, but it's been close. It's like 6 to 1, the efforts that you put in to get a new member who doesn't know anybody in the club. So think about that. It's 6 times less effort. If somebody knows somebody that's in the club, it just makes them feel better about their purchase. Remember, like I and our sales group, we're the sellers. You're the buyers. People like to listen to buyers. If every member, and I've said this before, successfully introduces 1 new member every 7 years, we will maintain our membership quotas. Think of that. All you have to do is introduce 1 new member. Everybody introduce 1 new member every 7 years. Positive messages about the club. I know we've been through some tough times. I know we have. And you've all experienced it, and I feel for it, for what you've been through here in the last 2 or 3 years. But I was horrified to hear a story recently about a group of new members that were just told very negative things about the club. That is not helping. This is your club. And not just you in this, but this is your club. I mean, the royal you. This is the members' club. We can't have people just being turned off by that, by those kinds of comments. All things being equal, location is often the primary and reason for joining the club. Those 25 new members, all of them live within 10 minutes of the club, if that's any indication. And we say that the local community is generally a 10 to 20 kilometer radius. Social media campaigns over the winter and the spring, you'll see those come out in different forms. Already we're into something called search engine marketing, which tells you exactly how many people are hitting your website, what page they're opening, and what they're most interested in. And that's very, very interesting. Right now, of course, it's fitness and so on. It's about fitness is like 3 to 1 over everything else at this moment. Hopefully that'll change as we get into the fall. So a little bit of marketing, a little bit of publicity about the club. You know what the club's about. This is all the things I have to offer because, again, this is your club. This is what we want you to preach. We've golf, tennis, curling, fitness, group exercise, spa, wellness services, swimming pool to be in the construction of 2017. These are the fees, $25,000, $17,500, and you know we just introduced the 25 rather goes to couples or groups of 10 or more. And so we want to preserve that $25,000. So any of those groups who are 10 or more, they got the 12,500 rate. If their spouse joins at any time in the future, their spouse has to pay $12,500. So it always has to come around to the $25,000. It's $3,000 for the Valley course. These are entrance fees. These are all plus annual dues. And again, the Valley course includes all other activities. If you're a golfer, it includes every other activity in the club. $1,500 for Clubhouse Active. And you know there's a promotion on right now because we're testing out a couple of, see if the market may seem a bit high for the $1,500. We're just trying to test that out. So we have a promotion out there for $500 right now, plus the annual fees. Everything but golf. And again, competitive annual fees with flexible payment programs. We search that all the time. And again, you know, about the golf course, classic design, leader in organic cultural practices, and again, that 9-hole Valley course is a real gem. Building on the future again, but first we have the fitness facilities. And notice Renzo is front and center there. Is he here today? I was going to say, if you sell fitness memberships, Renzo will be, that would be great. There he is, right over on the right there. But you've got personal training. Personal training is really starting to grow. And of course our fitness boutique area over here. Massage therapy, physiotherapy, those sorts of services will grow all the time. Best in class in tennis courts. We just redid them all. 3 hard true tennis courts. Again, fun and excellent weekly programs. Curling. We saw curling grow, but there's more and more golfers wanting to try. I mean, this 25 people I've talked to, but I think I see some of you in the room have just joined golf this year in curling. We're up to over 120 golfer curlers. That's a record, by the way. I've never seen that many golfer curlers. And of course, our organic program with the food. I mean, you know, Chef Tim, he's pretty fanatical about this. That's him, by the way, in the middle picture with his head down, picking out his vegetables, making his own honey and maple syrup. He really is on fire with this. Butchers all his own meats, and he really tries the best to give you as fresh and as tasty of a product as he can. And of course, we talked about the pizzas. That's one of our signature dishes. So that is my presentation, Mr. President.
much, Joe. I think I saw my ball in that little slide there. So are there any questions or comments from the members that you'd like to bring before the annual meeting at this time? So please proceed to the microphone and so we can do answer your question.
My name is Gary Belgrave. I just had a question about the special committee that is working on, I get what you're doing on the 1, 2, and 3 year period. The special committee I know is looking at the longer term issues for the club. Can the board outline for us a time schedule, some kind of a schedule that we will get interim reports on that so that we're getting a handle on how that's proceeding? Is that possible and is that part of the plan? Thank you.
Thanks, Gary. Colum Bastable is chairing that committee. He is in Paris right now, so I'll give you as much as I can on that. The plan certainly is to come back to the members with reports, and we'll do so periodically. At this point, we're in very much the fact-finding stage, and once we have something more concrete, I'll bring that back to the members, but yes, we will definitely be coming back to you. I don't have the time. Somebody else? Amazing. Okay. Anybody online? Any questions online?
Yes or no?
Good to hear. There's nothing online? Questions? Great. Okay, can I have a motion from the floor to terminate the meeting, please?
Mr. Chairman, I move that this meeting be adjourned.
Thank you very much, Dave. I'm really happy that you're here to bring that motion. Michelle will not be bothering you for 2 years. Will somebody please second the motion?
I'd like to second that motion.
Thank you very much, Paul. May I have a show of hands in favor? Thank you. Any opposed? Carried. Thank you very much. I declare the 2016 annual general meeting is now at an end. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the bar is available. Sorry, it's not a free bar, but it is available. For those of you who are going to be around, the board is going to adjourn, and we'll be coming back and introducing the new president.
background of one of those pictures, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Behind
Jamie.
Some
of the attractive people up there. Those you and I are the